Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. Suzan at this time. It was like turning into a tiger coming out of the gate. On the battlefield, he showed off all the fighting skills that he had integrated into his blood over the years. This is Suzan's most powerful moment. It was also the most exciting and passionate moment for Suzan. One face-to-face, 2 rounds. When there is a massive attack on the opposite side, when the opposite side is full of geniuses, when the opposite side is full of genius cruiser captains, Suzan a destroyer. Hardly. Easily kill one of the opponent's cruisers. There is no place for the other side to escape and no way to hide. Not only were the group of insectoid geniuses on the opposite side stunned, but also the instructors of this insectoid team. At the same time, it also shocked the people on our side who were paying attention to this battlefield. #2. It also shocked the surrounding ordinary human creature captains and Federal Army soldiers who were paying attention to the battle. The next second, the biological captains and Federal Army soldiers were fighting around them. Immediately, there was a loud roar on the public communication channel. "Dig a hole, newbie. As expected of my human genius, so powerful. This is too powerful. Haha, these stupid bug people are all dumbfounded and made me laugh to death. Do you really think that our human race has no genius? Up, up, up. The information displayed on the radar seems to be called the Can-Can, right? Come on, the Can-Can. Bring glory to our human race." These biological captains and Federal Army soldiers shouted loudly one by one. The tone was exciting and ecstatic. From their perspective, of course they can see it. Suzan's power is not at the same level as these people. And the next battle. This is also confirmed. They were stunned, but Suzan would not be stunned. On the battlefield, the most taboo thing is to stay in place stupidly. Suzan died countless times for this. So no matter what happens, no matter how shocking things are, Suzan will suppress his heart and deal with all the enemies in front of him first. The other party's shock also gave Suzan the best chance. Heavy hydrogen atom-shaped energy cannon, pulse penetration cannon, secondary cannon. This is Suzan's attack method. The 8th level destroyer has 100% overall unparalleled quality weapon attack power, which has reached an extreme level. Especially the power of the heavy hydrogen atomic energy cannon, after so many rounds of strengthening by Suzan. Its power has even exceeded the power of the battleship when it was used as a secondary battery several times. To put it simply, it is infinitely close to the power of the battleship's main gun. If that's not enough, it doesn't matter. After all, they are both geniuses. Their starship level cannot be bad. If that's not enough, add a pulse penetrating cannon. Pulse cannons are evolved. But it does not mean that the power of the pulse cannon will be any worse than the heavy hydrogen atom cannon. The power of purely evolved cannonballs may be slightly worse, but in the assault ship era. Now the destroyers, with their purely evolved power, have long since caught up. Because the purified parts and fit must be more powerful than the disassembled parts, the power of both. Quite now. One shot can't penetrate it. It doesn't matter. Plus a pulse cannon. It can definitely penetrate the opponent's energy shield and cockpit armor. In fact, normally, no matter how powerful it is, as long as it is not a single shell, it can directly penetrate the energy shield and the cockpit armor, which is generally a normal phenomenon. After all, there are many starships with very powerful main guns. But why can't they do this, like Suzan? That's because their attack accuracy and prediction are far inferior to Suzan. This is especially true when the opponent is a top genius or a monster genius. They can easily dodge. Only facing Suzan. Not to mention the powerful attack. No matter how much they avoid it. Even if you want to turn your back to Suzan, you can't help it. Because, before they even turned their backs on Suzan, they had easily penetrated their defenses with precise shots. Afterwards, the secondary gun followed up and tackled them in the cockpit. Just a few rounds of attacks. The other party was in shock. In one's own horror. Easily, he killed 4 of the opponent's cruisers. Suzan didn't even glance at the remaining 6 destroyers. He turned around and rushed to the next battle zone. That easy and simple gesture. It's as if his opponent is not a genius. It's like a bunch of people. Actually, Suzan himself was surprised. Because he discovered that his progress in the past 6 months was really huge. Let's put it this way. Before entering training camp, Suzan's Star Wars talent is the top-level monster. Then half a year has passed. His current Star Wars talents and abilities have reached the level of a peerless monster. The reason why a month ago, he was only at the level of a quasi-peerless monster, that is because Suzan has not exerted his full strength at all. Now that I have completely let go of myself. It is the most invincible existence on this battlefield, below the battleship level. The tiger that came out of the gate entered the flock of sheep. No matter if the opponent is a top genius or a monster genius, even ordinary geniuses. It may take a little time. After all, after rising to the level of Tianjiao, Suzan cannot easily kill the opponent. It just takes a little time. One cruiser after another was killed by Suzan. The strongest opponent is the cruiser captain. That is to say, at this moment, before the peerless genius from the Devil's Camp, the September Beetle, the super genius of the human race, showed up. Suzan. He is an absolutely invincible strong man. One ship after another. Massive amounts of evolution values began to be recorded, and seeing Suzan being so ferocious and his own personnel, he became excited. Under the command of teachers and instructors. The entire training camp, right down to the instructors and teachers. Go down to those students. All turned into Suzan's help. Specifically to intercept the destroyer for Suzan. Then block those cruisers and prevent them from escaping. Just waiting for Suzan to come and harvest. In a true sense, the whole camp serves Suzan. In this case, the evolution value obtained by Suzan is that of a starfish. It only lasted more than 20 minutes. Suzan has already killed more than 70 enemy cruisers. The ferocity of it left both parties stunned. Escape. The enemy is not a fool either. After seeing Suzan's ferocity, I immediately knew. This human race is definitely a super genius on the same level as the September Beetle human race. Facing a genius of this level, only a fool would go head-to-head with him. In their communication channel, they were shouting and shouting crazily. Calling their super geniuses to come and fight Suzan. Unfortunately, their escape was of no use. The students on our side seemed to have been injected with blood. He went crazy to intercept the enemy. 90 ships, 100 ships, 120 ships. When Suzan killed 122 of the opponent's cruisers in 38 minutes, finally, more than a dozen extremely accurate artillery shells came to Xingcheng Medical Hospital. The degree of accuracy made Suzan instantly dignified. Immediate evasion. The opponent's accuracy, as well as the accuracy of his prediction, allowed Suzan to only dodge part of it, while the other part could not be avoided at all. Just one round. Several holes were punched in the energy shield. The pressure that came instantly made Suzan immediately decide what to do. The September Beetle race is finally here. As expected. When Suzan stared in the direction of the attack, a cruiser with obvious characteristics of the September Beetle human race was flying towards him like crazy. While flying over, he was shooting wildly at Suzan. Powerful. Extremely accurate. Suzan, of course, is not to be outdone. I no longer care about the other cruisers. Turn the cannon, it's good to get money, and fight bravely. Damn it, human race, you deserve to die. Carrot. Suddenly, a jerky human language sounded from Suzan's communication channel. In the universe, there are actually many different public channels. Since the public channels are public, not only our own personnel can use them, but the Inhumans and insects can all access this channel. Of course, humans can also enter their public channels for dialogue. The other party's gloomy and angry voice continued to sound, "Human, you are very strong. But, I, Baba Reslu, the most talented person of the September beetle race, will definitely let you humans know. Even though we are both peerless geniuses, we, the insect race, are more powerful than you, the human race. Damn humans, suffer death." The other party didn't even dodge. Maybe he also knows that he can't avoid it. He directly faced Suzan's cannonball, only shifting the trajectory to prevent Suzan's cannonball from piercing his cockpit. Then he allowed the cannonballs to attack his starship, and headed straight towards Suzan, launching the most violent attack. It can be said that it gave Suzan the feeling of facing a Star Destroyer instructor in a training camp. Suzan's expression is clever. He also suddenly became extremely solemn. Compared to Suzan, he was unprecedentedly dignified. In fact, inside the cockpit of the Regressor starship, a bug human with a human face, but 4 hands, 2 feet, and a carapace on its back that symbolizes the September beetle human, with an expression full of horror. He is only 21 years old this year. But he is already an intermediate cruiser captain. A veritable genius. However, he is also a comprehensive genius. Cultivation will make you a peerless genius. Star Wars, quasi-unparalleled talent, fight against ordinary geniuses. Before he learned the news here, he had actually been mentally prepared for it. I know that among the group of geniuses in the human race, there is an unparalleled genius. No doubt. He is excited. Even exciting. His brother is his idol. At the same time, he also set his own brother as his goal to achieve or even surpass. His brother, in the last training session of Tian Mantang Devil Camp, killed many of the clan's geniuses and many top geniuses, establishing his position as a super genius in one fell swoop. He wants to surpass his brother. His brother, in the last term, only killed one of the top talents of the human race. RO. If he can kill a peerless genius of the human race, does that mean he is more powerful than his brother? Talent is more powerful? If you surpass your brother will definitely be proud of you. The relationship between the two brothers is particularly good. They are brothers, and even more so, competitors. DJ. The idea is good. The reality is cruel. When he first met Suzan, the terrifying pressure that hit his face made him feel like he couldn't breathe, especially the opponent's attack method. 350 gives him the feeling that no matter how he dodges, he can be easily locked by the opponent. In fact, this is exactly the case. The opponent fired back more than 10 rounds, but he only dodged 4. The other 8 were all fired at different positions, consuming a lot of energy in his energy shield. Looking at the fist-sized hole in front of his cockpit, his expression became extremely solemn and horrified. This precision. He felt a little timid. All the shells fired by the opponent just now were aimed at his cockpit, but 2 shots still hit the cockpit directly opposite, which made him very stressed. On the other side, Suzan was not only solemn but also excited. To be sure, the other party is a very powerful opponent, but only such an opponent can make Suzan use his full strength. Suzan's state at this time was completely lost in selflessness. In his eyes, there are only opponents and only destruction. Extreme dodge, extreme attack. The Brilliant suffered a certain degree of damage, but the opponent's damage was even more terrifying. Its wonderful battle scenes also attracted the attention of everyone around it. Even the attention of the strong men fighting on the battlefield was included. They all marveled at the wonderful battle between the two, and their hearts were full of sighs. I deeply feel how big the difference is between super geniuses and ordinary people. The two sides fought for 7 minutes. The damage to the brilliance reached 17%. But looking at the other party, the damage reached 66%. The two sides are no longer on the same level. This moment, an extremely gratified smile appeared on Kaitai's face, BBBF. Because he was certain of one thing, my own disciple. He is no longer a comprehensive genius. Because it's just a Star Wars. He has already reached the level of a peerless genius. The most talented person in Star Wars is the least and most difficult. Almost 70% of the peerless geniuses are all comprehensive, and there are very few who have completely reached the peerless genius level in terms of Star Wars. That is to say, Suzan, even if you put aside other talents. A single Star Wars star is an unparalleled genius. If you add other talents, it's not hard to imagine. After this battle, Suzan will definitely be on the list of geniuses. After being on the list of geniuses, there will definitely be no problem in entering the top 300. He started out as a super genius in the top 300. After all, this is the interstellar era, and Star Wars is the theme. Therefore, it is very normal for the ranking of the genius list to focus on Star Wars. Babarusaru, you can't defeat him, prepare to run away. The rest of you, prepare to intercept immediately. At this time, the solemn voice of the commander of the Devil Battalion of Tian Mantang sounded in Babaruslu's communicator. Babaruslu's eyes were red at the moment, although he was very angry and decadent. Even more unwilling. But at the same time, I also know. If he doesn't run away now, I'm afraid there is no chance to escape. Because the teachers and coaches in their devil camp cannot take action. Their action, whether it was against Suzan or rescuing Babaruslu from Suzan, was equivalent to breaking the rules. They would never dare to break the rules. Because once the rules are broken, it is equivalent to completely cutting off the genius of their insect race, and they will never be able to experience it on the battlefield again. As long as he appears, he will definitely be killed by the powerful human race with thunderous means, there is no doubt about this. Therefore, no matter what the circumstances, they cannot take action. Just like Kaitai and the others, even their own geniuses have lost a lot at this moment. But no one took action. This is the rule. I understand, Lord Leon. Babaruslu's face was full of reluctance, but he glanced at Suzan's brilliant horn with some fear and responded. Just when his voice fell, a small team that had been around and had not participated in the battle immediately stepped forward to carry out rescue operations. Both are geniuses. Naturally, there is no such rule. They are prepared, and of course Suzan is also prepared. Girls, this is Suzan's preparation. There were several other geniuses, plus the girls, a total of 10 people, who immediately stepped forward to stop them. At the same time, without hesitation, Babarusru controlled his starship to turn around and escape towards the rear. No nostalgia at all. How could Suzan watch him escape? When the opponent's starship battle damage exceeds 50%, Suzan has already prevented this. Seeing the other party fleeing, Suzan calmly started to pursue him. And this time, Suzan, for the first time, used the overlapping capabilities of multidimensional space starships. Because under normal circumstances, it is basically impossible to intercept Babaruslu. He is indeed much stronger than the other party. But the other party is not too different. There are other people who want to help and want to escape. In fact, the probability that Suzan can intercept the opponent is not high. But Suzan is the man who opened the cheat. The overlapping capabilities of multidimensional space starships are suddenly displayed. Just a moment. Suzan clearly felt that the little wife's brilliant number jumped from the dark universe in an instant. With a very mysterious multidimensional space overlapping ability, it is directly integrated with the eldest wife's case number. This moment, Suzana could feel it very clearly. The combat effectiveness of the brilliance increased several times in an instant. This is true for every attribute. This ability. It's never as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. And after various attributes have skyrocketed several times again on the basis of their original abnormality, the speed of Suzan's pursuit suddenly skyrocketed. When no one reacted. In the horrified eyes of Barbarous Liu and the Chinese people, he suddenly accelerated and ran to the front of Barbarous Liu's escape route. Then a few shots passed. The improvement in performance naturally also includes the improvement in attack speed. Attack speed never only refers to the attack speed from one shot to the next, but also includes the condensation speed and firing speed of the cannonball. That is to say, now the main gun of the Brilliance is fired faster, it is already difficult to avoid and intercept for convenience. The sudden increase in attack speed gave the opponent no chance to react. A few more shots. In the horrified eyes of the other party, a pulse-penetrating cannon completely tore open a hole in the opponent's existence. Another shot of the heavy hydrogen atom-charged cannon was like penetrating a cardboard box. Directly penetrate the opponent's cockpit glass. Secondary artillery follow closely behind. No. Barbarougeru let out his final roar of unwillingness, despair, and terror. It's of no use. High explosive fire. Easily tearing apart his space armor. It also easily tore apart the proud carapace of the September beetle race. The carapace, in front of the body, looks like paper. Easily, it can penetrate hundreds of holes. The super genius of the September beetle human race who is arrogant around him. He didn't even become famous for long. He has even just made it to the list of geniuses and is still at the bottom. Then he was picked up by an unknown young man. Suzan. Easily cut off all possibilities for him in the future, the genius of the generation, Barbarous Liu. Fei. This scene. I was shocked. Kaitai was stunned. The insectoids were stunned. Shocked, everyone. There are hundreds of people in this area. In addition, there are tens of thousands of people watching from the outside. But this moment, everyone was stunned and dumbfounded. Quiet. You can hear the needle drop. For Suzan. Previous testing has been sufficient. Just know how strong you are. So now, the massacre has officially entered. Even the unrivaled genius of the cruiser captain level, Barbarous Liu, was overlaid by his multidimensional space starship and was solved in just one step. The rest of the group. For Suzan. They are just a bunch of chickens and dogs. The kind that can be killed easily. There won't be any difficulty. Even some destroyers. Just one main gun shell can shatter the energy shield and cockpit armor together. The remaining power can be harvested by all the pilots inside it. An extremely strange scene occurred. Suzan, the two main guns fired simultaneously. One cannon for a starship. No matter if the opponent is a destroyer or a cruiser. The destroyer has only one main gun. A cruiser has one main gun, plus multiple secondary battery high-explosive rounds. Just a few blinks of an eye. These insectoid starships at the scene. They were all solved by Suzan. Only the destroyers and cruisers on the distant battlefield are left. Run! A roar finally resounded through the communicators of all the students in the Insect Devil camp. Tian Mantang, the commander of the Demon Battalion, had red eyes and his face turned green at the moment. Seeing the most proud and powerful super genius seed of this generation being killed as easily as slaughtering a chicken and a dog, his heart was bleeding. But the response of our own personnel was also quick enough. After being horrified by Suzan's incredible power, there was no time to think about it. Seeing that the other party is about to run away. Teachers, instructors, and deputy battalion commanders. One by one, they began to roar and give orders. Commanding these teams, he immediately intercepted Su Anqing. Ask for nothing else. I just want to intercept it for a while and wait for Suzan to go. These teachers, instructors, and deputy battalion commanders all became excited. They didn't expect it anyway. Suzan is actually so powerful. It was several times stronger than when he was in the training camp. It is so strong in itself. Many times more powerful. Is there any place for reasoning? Just say it. Suzan is so strong now. Even comparable to a deep space ship. Can you imagine what it would be like for a genius with peerless Star Wars abilities to drive a deep space ship and fight among a group of destroyers and cruisers? This concept is one-sided massacre. Zian. Kill me hard. Ha 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 ha. Kaitai's equally excited voice came from the communicator, kill them all. Don't leave anyone behind. It's up to you whether you can keep all the geniuses from the devil's camp this time. Kill them. Kill them all. This is a huge blow to the insect race. Suzan did not respond. Respond directly with action. Killing. Even more crazy. At the same time, Suzan shouted directly, little bird. You guys, come here immediately. You guys, protect the little kite the whole time, and then, little bird, come over and supply me with supplies. Bai Xiaoyuan didn't have any reason and immediately said, I know. Immediately. The girls immediately left the battlefield. The four girls, Tai Mei, Hu Qiqi, Miao Xiaomi, and Qin Fuyue, surrounded by Xiaoyuan for protection, coming quickly towards Suzan. Bai Xiaoniao immediately started supplying Shuicheng. But Bai Xiaoniao's supplies may not be enough. Because there are really too many enemy starships now. There are more than 90,000 ships. With the current artillery shell reserve, even if one shot is fired at one starship, it can kill at most 30,000 starships. However, Suzan rolled his eyes and immediately said loudly, Master. Please arrange a few more support ships to supply Bai Xiaoyuan. Kaitai immediately understood what Suzan meant, and said with uncontrollable excitement, no problem. Just let me kill you, the shells, enough. In training camp, the number of support ships may not be large. But there are still a few of them. The supply speed of these support ships is not fast and cannot keep up with Suzan's speed. But it does not matter. They can collectively replenish Bai Xiaoyuan's artillery shell reserves. Then Bai Xiaoyuan specially supplied him. There is no problem. As for the issue of the shell model, don't worry too much. They are all destroyers and cruisers. The shell models are all pretty much the same. Even if the shell model is wrong. Among the nearly 100,000 students, there are always those with suitable shell models. I took a supply of artillery shells from their storage compartment to Suzan, and there was no problem. A massacre. Now. Officially begin. Suzan's current goal. Just those cruisers. As for destroyers, don't even look at them. He eats meat. We have to give soup to these students. These students helped me to take off without any complaints. How could I ignore them? Cruisers certainly can't give it to them. Destroyers belong to them. Only 10 minutes. A total of 107 cruisers were killed by Suzan. This scene, it looked like the eyes of those insectoids were about to burst, and a rush of blood rushed to their foreheads. I desperately want to take action, but when I think about it, I absolutely cannot bear the consequences. I can only grit my teeth and stare at the queue with bloodshot eyes. Kaitai. The battalion commander of Tianmantang Devil Camp suddenly shouted loudly, "Come here, let's have a fight. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." The angry voice of the commander of Tianmantang Devil Camp was distorted. Those students wanted to escape, but they couldn't. Fight, can't beat. Watching these students being killed one after another without any resistance. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. It is impossible to take action against Suzan. Then I can only vent all my anger on the commander of the opposing team's ancient galaxy training camp. Haha, just fight. Kaitai's tone was completely opposite. At this time, he couldn't be happier. I'm still afraid of you, Tian Mantis. Please give me flowers. I killed as many as 800 of your Tian Mantang clan members back then, if not 1,000. Come on, I will kill another one today. The commander of the Devil's Camp Tian Mantang laughed angrily. Okay. They say that when you were young in Kai Tai, you almost topped the list of geniuses and took the title of the Great Demon King. Then today, I want to see how strong you are. As soon as the words fell, the two terrifying behemoths, both 70,000 meters long, rushed thousands of miles away and began a battle at their level. They were all far away from the battlefield. Because they are fighting at this level, even the aftermath of the battle, it may lead to the death of a large number of enemy and friendly personnel on the battlefield. Watch on the sidelines, come here and die. With another roar, a starship more than 30,000 meters long ran in another direction. Haha, since you are seeking death yourself, then suffer death for me. Bien Zhan laughed wildly, followed closely behind without saying a word. Actually, the superpowers of the three peak overlord groups. They all know each other's names and identities. Even if it's the first time they meet, they all know it. Learn the identity information of the enemy superpower. This is a required course for the strong. Immediately afterwards, the deputy battalion commanders of the other two battalions also went to fight. Obviously, the other party wants to vent all their anger and grievances on their own strong man. Of course, it is impossible for a strong man on his side to give in. Let's fight. As for the safety of Suzan and other students, no need to worry at all. There are so many teachers and instructors out there. Especially the enemy's super strong men were going crazy. That's okay too. Is that all you really need to be your own super strong guy? Just now, the geniuses from both sides started fighting. The super strong men guarding the B-283 battlefield have been paying attention to this side. Again, these geniuses are the future and the hope of the human race. There is absolutely no room for error. It is inevitable to prevent the enemy from going crazy and taking action against one's own geniuses. Even if the probability of the enemy taking action is very, very small, it is not completely impossible. FFLX. At this time, although those super strong men did not appear, but in fact, it has already been ready to go. Hashtag. The superpowers on the starship were also watching the whole process. It's not hard to imagine. After this battle, the name of Suzan, he will definitely be known by the top group of powerful people in the human federation of the universe. Of course, the insects and inhumans, after seeing Suzan's unparalleled potential, Suzan will definitely be on their must-kill list. Such a heaven-defying super genius. There can be no action. But Suzan didn't care at all, and he was even less worried. Genius. He grew up in all kinds of dangers and all kinds of wind and rain. Afraid of this or that. Go and stay in the greenhouse and don't come out. The super strong men over there were fighting fiercely. Enough to tell. The other party is full of anger. Or incompetent rage. Too many talented people have been killed. This makes them feel so distressed that they can hardly breathe. To know the death of so many geniuses, to put it simply, affects the succession of geniuses. In the long run, it is the succession of super strong people. These geniuses died in large numbers. That means, at some time in the future, there will be a group of super strong people who will take over the vacancies. Duh, what else can be done? The superpowers of the human race stared at them. Even the super strong men of the inhuman race were staring at them. As for the super strong men of the inhuman race, why are they staring at them? The reason is simple. The super strong men of the inhuman race, for this. It's also a joy to hear them. I also wish that a large number of the super geniuses of the insect race would die, leaving some vacancies for the super powerful ones of the insect race in the future. What a great thing. 940, so, target the insects to death, what's the point? Okay. As long as you dare to move. What ushered in was a double beating from the Inhumans and the cosmic humans. Try moving it? On the battlefield here. Suzan is like a butcher. Continuously slaughtering. But the geniuses on the opposite side are not really waiting to be slaughtered. There are still some relatively powerful geniuses who break out of the encirclement after killing their own personnel. Suzan didn't care either. There are so many geniuses on the other side. He never thought that he could leave the other party behind. That's not realistic. The most realistic situation is, in the last term, didn't the insects kill half of their own geniuses? So this time, it is a guaranteed estimate to kill 2/3 of the opponent's geniuses. Best case scenario. It is to kill 4/5 of the opponent, or even 9/10. Killing them all is simply impossible. There are almost more than 9,000 cruiser captains on the other side. The rest are all destroyer captains. Suzan's goal is simple. Just kill the opponent's 5,000 cruisers. 5,000 cruisers. That massive amount of evolution value is enough to make Suzan go crazy. And all the women. You can also follow him and eat a few bites of meat. So much evolutionary value. Completely, enough for the girls to even evolve into battleships with 100% purple, perfect quality. And what about Suzan? It was completely enough for him to sail the 2 brilliant ships. Evolve to a battleship with orange epic quality. Yes. The orange epic quality, the required evolution value, is so crazy. Why do you think real high-end quality products are so rare nowadays? Unbelievably rare. After an hour, Suzan has killed 3,000 enemy cruisers. In 2,500 ships were eaten by Suzan alone. The other 500 ships were eaten by the women. Distance to target. There are still 2,000 ships left. But the problem also arises. The supply of artillery shells seems to be unable to keep up with the speed. But it's not a big problem either. Because there are constantly students opening up their reserves of artillery shells. Supplies to Bai Xiaoyuan. Then Bai Xiaoyuan kept supplying to Suzan. The rest of the students also went crazy this time. Because Suzan killed the enemy cruiser. The remaining destroyers. To those students, it was just fish on the chopping board, ready to be slaughtered by them. My inner admiration and support for Suzan has risen to an unimaginable height. Suzan's strength makes them admire him. The benefits it brings to them will make them infinitely supportive. It's not hard to imagine. This group of super geniuses, after this battle, all of them must turn into Suzan's little fans. This is also an expansion of Suzan's network. This battle, the fight lasted more than 3 hours. Not only did Suzan and others go crazy, Kai Tai and the others are also killing like crazy. On an ordinary battlefield. Also killed like crazy. On the ordinary battlefield, those insectoids saw Suzan killing so many of their geniuses. They are also filled with boundless anger. This anger can only be unleashed on the human race. As for the human race, of course I won't be timid. The strength of the super geniuses greatly boosted their morale. This battle. It is definitely the craziest, bloodiest, and most deadly event in recent years. Every second. Cruisers, battleships, and deep space ships all fell. A large number of star destroyers even fell. Even the immortal ship. Both sides lost more than 20 ships. A veritable meat grinder of death. But the ones who died the most were undoubtedly the insectoids. Not many humans died at all. On the battlefield, morale is really, really important. Suzan, what followed was massive morale. After Suzan didn't know how many starships he had destroyed and how many insectoid geniuses he had killed, Kai Tai's voice finally sounded, "Zian, okay, that's enough." Suzan gradually came back to his senses from the state of selfless fighting. Take a quick glance. Suddenly discovered. On their battlefield, the enemy geniuses no longer exist. Only the pieces of starship wreckage showed how fierce and bloody the battle just was. Turn around and look again. The remaining geniuses from Tianmon Devil Camp, as well as teachers, instructors, and the like. I don't know when, but he has disappeared. Kaitai's starship is also parked next to Suzan at this moment. Kaitai's starship was also scarred. Obviously, the battle he just had with the opposing battalion commander was also extremely fierce. Those who fight them on the side are not much better. However, through the glass of their cockpit, you can clearly see the smiles on their faces. A smile that is very, very satisfying, very, very gratifying. Kaitai's voice continued to sound at this time, Zian. Your performance is really beyond my expectations. I am very satisfied with your performance. The results achieved this time are unprecedented. Originally it was estimated that this training would last 5 months. But now it seems, the training seems to be ending early, haha. Suzan was startled. Ended early? Why? Kaitai hasn't spoken yet. Bianzhan's heroic voice laughed loudly. Why? Of course you have defeated the other's geniuses. You don't think that we will really bring you to the battlefield to fight against those powerful battleships, deep space ships, and even star destroyers, right? The purpose of training is to fight with the enemy's geniuses. After this battle, your achievements, especially your name Suzan, will definitely spread throughout the universe. This time, there are very few people in the entire universe who can compete with you, Suzan. As long as you, Suzan, are here, do you think any other school or training camp's geniuses would dare to compete with our training camp again? If you don't dare, then why are you still here? Fighting those star destroyers? Ha ha ha. Bianzhan's tone was very cheerful. You can see it, he likes and is satisfied with Suzan from the bottom of his heart. Kaitai also smiled and said, I mean, Bianzhan has already told you. So, your training ended early. In the next period of time, you can go back to school and continue training. Or you can leave on your own. But I suggest you go back to school and complete the next training. After all, you can grow faster if you train there. Cultivation is not about 4.00. Strive to break through to an intermediate or even advanced cruiser in 5 months. I heard you say that you also participated in the peak battle, right? If it's the peak battle, there's no rush. There are still more than 2 years. When the time comes, you will participate as the battleship captain, and you will be the first in the pinnacle battle. I said so. Suzan didn't hesitate at all and immediately nodded, no problem. Although the second part of training was faster than he imagined. But the benefits gained. It's really King big. It was so big that Suzan still felt like he was in a dream. He does need some time to settle down. Don't say anything else. At least, let's break through to the cruiser first. After breaking through the cruiser, go to the battlefield again and look for Haitang. Thinking of this, Suzan suddenly felt a little dazed. Unconsciously. It turned out that he was almost reaching the cruiser captain. A dream that was once out of reach. Now. Within reach. List of geniuses. It has always been the most popular list. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second. Countless people will pay attention to this list. Whenever there is a slight change in the list, countless media will rush to report it, whether it is the cosmic human race, the inhuman race, or the insect race. Because the Tianjiao list has always been synonymous with traffic. Including every day, there will be various professional media, experts, self-media, and so on. Regarding the situation and personnel on the list of geniuses, who else is expected to be promoted to one place, and who is expected to occupy the position of the great demon king forever, etc., etc. They will get a lot of traffic. Even interpreting the Tianjiao list has become a custom that has lasted for countless years. There are countless media companies established for this purpose, and all of them make a lot of money. It can be imagined from this. How popular is the Tianjiao list in the minds of humans across the universe? Anyway, before Suzan woke up, he would read the list of geniuses every day when he went to bed, as well as the interpretations of the list by various media. Watching it with relish. Only after I became a biological warrior, I didn't have much time to pay attention to these things. And just today. List of geniuses. It's hot again. Because today. More than 400 geniuses on the genius list, today. Big changes have taken place. A new genius who just appeared on the genius list not long ago is still at the bottom, and has not even really begun to show his style as the peerless Genius 11. Result. The people are gone, a unique genius who suddenly emerged from the human race in the universe. Suzan. Kill them directly. Moreover, the opponent was unable to fight back throughout the entire fight. He jumped directly from an unknown figure to the 303rd position on the list of geniuses. Lower middle position. Especially when Suzan's information level was exposed, it detonated the whole universe. To know, the top 300 geniuses. The worst ones are all battle captains. 300 to 400, all cruiser captains. After 400, there are destroyer captains and a small number of cruiser captains. But. Ranking list of the most outstanding geniuses in the universe. 303, Suzan, 23 years old, space human race destroyer. The name that suddenly appeared made everyone stunned. At the same time. Countless media, countless self-media. Just like a shark smelling fishy smell, it started to promote like crazy. A little killer whale, D fans, 292 trillion. The brilliant prodigy Suzan. I believe there are many people like me who were very shocked and surprised when they saw this name and this ranking on the list of geniuses. I believe that most people have never heard of this name. Seeing this name, I started looking around for information about Suzan. You won't know if you don't check, but you'll be shocked if you check. Suzan, 23 years old, is from Lake City on Earth in the solar system of the Earth Federation. When I was a child, my parents were both kings, and they lived on relief from the Earth Federation. When seeing this information, I believe everyone is shocked like me. Because my initial thoughts. This Suzan should be the next generation, trained by a certain superpower, right? In most cases, only massive resources can cultivate such outstanding geniuses. However, the truth is exactly the opposite. Because I have no parents since I was a child, I have never received better education. Not only did I never use any natural treasures when I was a child, even food and clothing became a problem. However, Suzan keeps improving. Finally, when he was 17 years old, he successfully awakened his biological energy and became a biological warrior. After that, a junk spaceship named Wuling was bound. Yes. A spaceship used to pick up garbage, or a spaceship left by his father, who knows how many hands. The brand new price is only tens of thousands of universe coins. Bind the spaceship as your own starship. Then, Suzan began to show his incredible talent. With the few savings he had in his hand, he managed to evolve this junk spaceship into a real starship on his own. Yes. He, Suzan, still an evolutionist. A self-taught evolutionist who has never undergone any systematic study. And after entering this profession, he showed his unimaginable talent as an evolutionist. After that, cultivation talents begin to show, personal combat talents start to show, and Star War talents start to show. During the special recruitment examination, he won the first place in the solar system with extremely excellent results, beating out the group of geniuses who had received countless resources to train him since childhood. But it is a pity that because of his outstanding talent, he was targeted by a human traitor. However, Suzan was just the captain of the reconnaissance ship and was suddenly hunted down by a human traitor who was the captain of the assault ship. However, Suzan remained calm in the face of danger, and his Star Wars talent was fully demonstrated. He carried it hard until rescue arrived. After a bloody battle, he showed his iron-like unyielding willpower and actually chose to die together with his opponent. Fortunately, thanks to the blessing of heroes, Suzan survived and fought across levels, killing the human traitors at the assault ship level, and his own starship completely exploded. However, Suzan did not give up on himself at all. For others, the problem of decreased fit for the second binding did not seem to have happened to him at all. And it seems to have become stronger. Binding and evolving starships from scratch, and finally, with a perfect score of 3 points that has never appeared in the history of the Earth Federation, he won the status of the top scholar in the country, titled Bestie Monster by the Earth Federation human race. After that, with his keen insight, he detected the conspiracy from the 4-section insect race, and cooperated with the strong ones to destroy many insect star destroyers, deep space ships, and a large number of human traitors that had sneaked into the hinterland of our human race. Later, when he took the fleet he built himself, brilliant fleet, to perform missions. Once again, with his extremely keen insight, he uncovered the conspiracy of a group called the Ghana tribe. This ethnic group took refuge in the Inhumans many thousands of years ago, and there is a natural wormhole in their tribe. It is unimaginable that if Suzan hadn't detected this, what terrible consequences would have occurred once the powerful Inhumans broke in. In response to this, the Universal Human Federation specially awarded him an invitation to qualify for the Peak Battle. Later, he participated in the Earth Federation Young Evolver competition and won the undisputed first place in the competition with his invincible talent. He even led his school to win the title of the #1 college in the Earth Federation. In order to retaliate against him, the human traitor destroyed his school. After Suzan, he began a long pursuit and finally completely destroyed the human traitor organization. More than half a year ago, Suzan participated in the training program of Taiku Galaxy Training Camp. According to the news recently announced by Taiku Galaxy Training Camp, Suzan, as soon as he entered the training camp, broke the previous record. Now, he has received superstar treatment. Finally, follow the training camp, go to the B-level battlefield, and fight with the top geniuses of the insect race from the Tian Mantang Devil Camp. Among the insectoids, there is also a super genius. He is also known to everyone as the peerless genius, Barbarous Lu, who has just made it onto the genius list. At this time, Barbarous Lu was already the captain of an intermediate cruiser, while Suzan was just the captain of a destroyer. However, according to the news, Barbarous Lu was almost suppressed and beaten by Suzan, and finally escaped without a fight. Suzan pursued, fully exerting all his strength, and met directly with 333, completely killed Babalusru on the spot. Later, under his leadership, he killed most of the geniuses of the Tian Mantang Devil Camp. The geniuses of the insect race suffered extremely heavy losses. Suzan became famous all over the universe and was directly ranked at 303 on the list of geniuses. I believe everyone understands what the ranking 303 represents. It means that Suzan is among all people under 1,000 years old in the universe. Ranked 303rd. And before him, there was no one lower than a battleship captain. What does this mean? This means Suzan. Now he is just a destroyer captain. However, he is already absolutely invincible under the battleship. How powerful is this? How terrifying is this? Oh, by the way, just now, the Universe Evolutionary Association also released the latest data. Suzan. Now, he is already a 3rd grade evolution master. Therefore, we can conclude that Suzan has at least reached the level of a quasi-unparalleled genius during his journey as an evolutionist. So, the little killer whale said he was really shocked, okay? Suzan, what a genius he is. In our human race, such an amazing genius has appeared again. Star Wars unparalleled talent, individual battle with top talent, cultivate the top genius, evolve the top talent, design top talent. Are you curious about why another design talent emerged? Oh, I forgot, because all I could think about was horror. A few months ago, Suzan successfully designed and developed 2 starships personally. Morning Star and Big Dipper. Highest quality, achieved with red excellence. Ha! Such a talent. I would like to call you Suzan. Brilliant prodigy. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic, a baby killer whale. He is a very, very famous self-media person. His sweet appearance, but sharp words and vocabulary, his courage to speak, his professionalism, and various well-founded data analysis, etc. attracted countless fans. Nearly 300 billion fans. Perhaps it is not even a drop in the ocean to the total number of people in the Universal Human Federation. But to be honest, the number of these fans is really quite large. After all, there are too many various media and self-media. This video of a baby killer whale was the first to be released and the most carefully investigated. Although there are still many aspects that have not been investigated. But Suzan's main deeds are actually pretty good. This video of a baby killer whale immediately attracted countless media reprints. Even the most authoritative official media, the Cosmic Human Race Report, also reprinted it. For this reason, it has brought a huge popularity to a little killer whale. Suzan's name, at this moment. It can be said to be a household name. It is truly a household name, because it's the kind in the entire universe. It's not just the human race in the universe. Because the list of geniuses is open to the whole universe. The list of geniuses is so popular among the human race, and it is equally popular among the inhumans, insects, and billions of other races. This day. The name of Suzan. It completely resounded throughout the universe. The name of Suzan. It has also completely entered the vision of every ethnic group in the universe. This day, the intelligence departments of the inhumans and insects urgently put Suzan on the kill list. And it's at the top of the list. Because just the talents shown by Suzan. It was enough to make them extremely solemn. The interstellar era of the universe. Star Wars is undisputedly number one. And evolution, ranked first with Star Wars, is still undisputed. But Suzan, whose talents in these two areas. Ridiculously powerful. Among the peerless geniuses themselves, there are very few who have reached the peerless genius level in Star Wars and evolution. But Suzan is an absolutely unparalleled genius in Star Wars, and a quasi-unparalleled genius in evolution. Not to mention that there are also battles, training, and a special design in it. In today's era, all-round geniuses are more popular than single-minded geniuses. What's more, not to mention Suzan's all-round ability, he also has such a big tail. If this son is not killed, the inhumans and insects will never sleep peacefully. Must kill. This is the authority ranked 303 in the universe. At this moment. On the way back to training camp. Suzan was talking to Ren Qingying. Ren Qingying's tone was full of excitement and admiration. Suzan, you are really amazing. Do you know? When your name resounds throughout the universe, the orders for the 2 starships you designed have reached an extremely terrifying stage. And orders are still rising crazily. You have no idea how hot it is. We are already preparing to add 1,000 fully automated production lines. At full power, produce the Morning Star and the Big Dipper. This time, I really made a lot of money. When the money for those orders arrives, I will transfer it to you right away. It is estimated, at least 5 trillion. Yes, you can at least get 5 trillion universe coins. Hearing Ren Qingying's words, Suzan was also happy and happy. Who would dislike having a lot of money, right? Anyway, Suzan will never dislike the fact that he has a lot of money. And so much money. It also represents once waiting for the order to be delivered. 2. It will soon reach trillions of funds, which means a wealth value of more than 100 million. Suzan, I am very much looking forward to what kind of rewards the system will add with a wealth value of 100 million. And this is the charm of making money in the interstellar era of the universe. In ancient Earth times, the assets of the richest people in the world are only about 1 trillion. Basically, this is the end of the world. The reason is simple. The total population of the Earth in ancient times was only that much. The total population base determines the upper limit. When you do business, even if each person earns 1 yuan, you can only earn more than 7 billion. Because the population base is here. But in the age of the universe and interstellar world, it's so easy to make $1 from the hands of humans in a large galaxy. You are worth trillions of wealth. FFLX. In this era, trillionaires. Many. 5512, it's actually not difficult to make money. So, really speaking, earning 1 trillion yuan and having a wealth value exceeding 100 million yuan is actually Suzan's real start. In the future, there will be breakthroughs in wealth value of 1 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, 1 trillion, and 100 trillion. These are not impossible things. So although Suzan is very happy now, he will not lose his composure. 7. I believe that the system will not let you down. After finishing the conversation with Ren Qingying, soon, Suzan received another communication. This communication made him a little surprised, but also seemed to make him somewhat clear. Mu Ziqiu. Communication is connected. Mu Ziqiu's extremely gentle and magnetic voice came from it. First of all, congratulations to you, Suzan. I didn't expect that you would grow up so fast. So quickly, he was on the list of geniuses and became an unparalleled genius. However, my guardian time has also come. At the beginning, the headquarters of the Universal Human Federation only arranged for you to be treated as a top talent. Now you are a peerless genius, and you are also ranked 303 as a peerless genius. So, it's time to change your treatment and protection level. At the headquarters, we will arrange 3 longitudinal starship captains for you to provide you with all-round protection. This protection will last until you become the captain of the Star Destroyer. In addition, there will be corresponding items as rewards for you in the future. I am telling you this now because I want to tell you. When your new guardian arrives, I have to leave. See you next time. Listening to Mu Ziqiu's words, Suzan raised his eyebrows. After thinking for a while, Suzan asked, captains of the 3 longitudinal starships? And you protected me until I was promoted to Star Destroyer captain? You sure? The treatment of an unparalleled genius seems. Is it even more outrageous than you thought? Mu Ziqiu said softly. A normal peerless genius will definitely not be able to do it. A normal genius is just a starship protector. However, you are an unparalleled genius who ranked 303rd on the list for the first time, and you are the kind who killed an unparalleled genius from the insect race. In addition, you are an all-around peerless talent. Among them, the 2 most important talents, Star Wars and Evolution, you are extremely powerful, so the headquarters values you more than you think. Actually, even I was surprised by this kind of treatment. It's not difficult to see. The headquarters attaches great importance to you this time. It's really very, very high. There was even a hint of envy in Mu Ziqiu's tone. Mu Ziqiu. Back then, he was also a top talent. Even now, he is also a top talent. Therefore, after personally experiencing these treatments, I understand even more how outrageous Suzan's treatment is. To what extent does the headquarters attach great importance to Suzan? Yes, maybe Zhongxinghang is not the strongest. However, the vertical starship is definitely not a cabbage-like existence. Zhongxing starship captain means Zonghang Xinghai. In other words, in the universe level of Xinghai, the captain of the vertical starship can be said to be almost the pinnacle existence, Wu De Zhao. As for the Universal Human Federation, there are only 108 star seas in total. FFLX. You can imagine how rare a starship captain is. But in this case, 3 people were assigned to Suzan at once. This is simply outrageous. Suzan didn't think too much, and after a moment of silence, he suddenly said, "You don't have to leave either. After that, I will take the initiative to contact the headquarters and ask them to keep you. Aren't there 3 starship captains and guardians? I only want 2, and the last one will still be you." Muzicho's side suddenly became quiet. Silence for a long time. Thanks, Muzicho said with a chuckle. After that, the communication ended. Suzan also smiled. Something about the headquarters this time. Thinking about it, it should be even better, right? Of course, these are just external things. The most important thing is your own cultivation. Nothing to say now. Has so much evolutionary value. Let's evolve the Brilliant to a Tier 5 destroyer first. On the way back, evolve directly to level 10. Waiting for arrival at training camp, price. You are now ready to start the evolution from destroyer to cruiser. This time I achieved such an achievement. Master Xiaodong Lu, and senior brothers and sisters. Congratulations and exclamations came one after another. They were not surprised that Suzan had reached the level of peerless talent. Suzan's evolution talent. Could they not know? Even know more than others. They know that if Suzan's evolution talent is truly counted, he is not a quasi-peerless genius at all, but a real peerless genius. They would often chat and discuss evolution. So, they know. Suzan has now conquered the evolution of battleships. Not only that. Also includes orange epic quality evolutions. And the triple crossfire evolution technology. Moreover, crossfire evolution technology. It seems that there has been a breakthrough. Not to mention the 3 crossfire evolution technology. It's the double crossfire technique. How many genius evolutionists have not mastered it now? Including those top geniuses. Plus Suzan, get? How many years have you been in the evolution field? But it has already achieved such success. Tell me, this is not considered a peerless genius, so what is? Really talk about it. Suzan is a double genius. 3 top geniuses. Therefore, what really shocked Master, as well as my brothers and sisters. It's Suzan's Star Wars talent that has reached the level of a genius. This gives them, especially Master, a headache. Because at the beginning, Master Xiaodong Lu planned 270 for Suzan so that Suzan could become a great evolutionist in the future. But now, my head hurts. It really hurts my head. But I am also sincerely happy for Suzan. Suzan became stronger and stronger. It means, no matter what Suzan does in the future, he will have extraordinary talent. 20. If we say that he takes all aspects into consideration. Although it is unlikely, because a person's energy is always limited. But what if? It is unimaginable if it can really take into account all aspects. Some years later, what a powerful man Suzan will grow into. What huge changes it will bring to the human race in the universe. After experiencing the initial happiness and excitement, Suzan returns to training camp. There was no time left to feel proud that he had entered the list of geniuses. There is no such time. Every day. It's all crazy practice, practice, practice again. Strive to break through to the cruiser as quickly as possible. Then continue to climb higher. At the end of Suzan's first month back in training camp. Finally, all high-end metal materials, as well as natural materials and treasures, are all present. Suzan immediately started the evolution of the cruiser. As for the girls, they are still training fiercely. Their progress is not much slower. Just the other day, it also simultaneously broke through to the level of a 9th level destroyer. I believe it won't be long. It is also possible to break through to the cruiser. This speed, it's really not slow. And the evolution of the cruiser. For most parts, Suzan will continue to adopt a purely evolutionary approach. Yes, pure evolution method will indeed consume more evolution values. But Suzan is not lacking in evolutionary value now. And pure evolution is undoubtedly even more shrinking. Besides, there must be spare parts. Aero. The space jump engine that Suzan longs for. This kind of engine. This is the foundation for starships to truly be able to sail long distances. And after having the space jump engine. In other words, after breaking through to the cruiser level. Suzan. Only then can you truly step into the ranks of the strong. Cruiser captain, no matter where he is not weak. This evolution. Except for the space jump engine. The Brilliance will also get 2 new main guns. Yes, add 2 more main guns. After the battle with the Devil Camp, Suzan discovered 2 main guns. Some are missing. At least on the battlefield, 2 main guns are really not many. The battlefield and the usual Star Wars are not the same concept at all. The previous fighting methods are no longer applicable. What's more, after the cruiser, it has super firepower. The maximum length, width and height of the cruiser. Length, 1,499.9 meters, width, 339.9 meters, height, 179.9 meters. This extreme length, width and height, add a space jump engine, and add 2 main guns. Suzan thinks that is enough. Additional secondary guns and anti-aircraft guns will also be added. The firepower must be fierce. Because the next step is to enter the battlefield. The firepower cannot be inferior. Not only that. Suzan will also be equipped with an additional missile launch bay. This is also indispensable. The 2 newly added main guns, Su, BBCD, Zian, also adopt different types. First, the heavy hydrogen atom-shaped energy cannon will definitely continue to be used. But, the pulse cannon is actually somewhat behind the times. Suzan spent a lot of time on the heavy hydrogen atomic energy cannon and asked his senior brothers and sisters for help. Finally, I got one for Suzan again. It was also a secondary gun dismantled from a battleship. The 2 energy-type main guns, and the other 2, of course, have to be kinetic. Pulse ones can't keep up with the power unless they are much larger. That's obviously not possible. As for the cruiser class, there are actually many kinetic energy weapons to choose from. Finally choose. Suzan chose the most stable kinetic energy. Ultra-high pressure propulsion kinetic energy main gun. There are many types of ultra-high pressure propulsion kinetic energy main guns. Suzan chose one with high explosive and high pressure energy to propel the penetrating warhead. At the moment of launch, the extremely violent energy generated by the ultra-high pressure explosion will push the penetrating warhead to a state of high speed of light in an instant. The power is no worse than the heavy hydrogen atom cannon. And because it has a physical warhead, it complements the energy-type heavy hydrogen atom-shaped cannon. Enemy energy shield is strong. Then use the heavy hydrogen atom cannon. If the opponent's armor is strong, then use ultra-high pressure to propel the kinetic energy cannon. When facing physical armor, energy attack methods are definitely inferior to physical warheads. This is true even in the interstellar age. The collision between physical matter and physical matter can also produce additional higher collision damage. This cannot be replaced by energy cannons. Same reason. When it comes to energy protection, energy cannons also have advantages that cannot be replaced by physical warheads. So, even in this era, both. They all still coexist. There is no point in saying who is stronger. Who is stronger depends entirely on which enemy's defense is stronger. 4 main guns. It will also bring a qualitative leap to the bright number. At the same time, the increase in the size of the Brilliance can also bring more ammunition reserves. Although the space jump engine has brought a lot of space pressure. But at this time, the benefits of extreme length, width and height become apparent. At least, the maximum length, width and height, compared to the size of an ordinary cruiser, are exactly equivalent to installing a space jump engine. As for the remaining parts, Suzan plans to use purely evolutionary methods, just collect those natural treasures and high-end metal materials. It cost Suzan a lot of time and money. But Suzan now has a lot of cash. More than 100 billion. 2 brilliant ships are more than enough. This day, Suzan is ready. I couldn't wait to drive the brilliance to the evolution factory of the training camp. This evolution. The whole process looks like it lasts 16 days. No way. The improvement of starship level will inevitably bring a long time. In this regard, you can only gradually shorten the time when your evolution skills become more and more proficient in the future. As for the evolution of the cruiser, Zian now has a high degree of confidence. But, because of the importance of evolving cruisers, this evolution, no one will bother Suzan during the entire process. This evening, everything is ready. Brilliant number. The long-awaited evolution of the cruiser. It also officially begins. Once evolved. Since then, Suzan can be called a strong man. A strong man in the true sense, a large-scale evolution like a starship. The first thing to evolve is always the dragon bone. Then there is the hull and core armor. Only when the overall frame of the starship is fixed can subsequent evolution be carried out. Pure evolution, Suzan has simulated in the evolution simulation. After 10 years of simulation, the best pure evolution method was selected. A few days later, the keel, hull, and core armor were completely evolved. Next step. Just install the space jump engine. Space jump engine. It is the most powerful space jump engine of the Yuanhang series purchased by Suzan from Interstellar Power Group. This engine is the latest generation product of Interstellar Power Group and its most high-end product. This engine is very expensive, but it allows the cruiser to have the ability to jump 23,000 light-years at a time. Yes. 23,000 light-years. Under the cruiser. Just a few light-years flying. Above the cruiser, the worst space jump engine starts at 10,000 light-years. Like this space jump engine, after it is evolved by Suzan and its quality is improved. Think about how many light-years it can reach with at least 538% distance bonuses. The key is that Suzan also plans to evolve to Orange Epic Quality. Orange Epic Quality. The increase or decrease reached 58%. And it has 6 features. Tell the truth. Distance. It's not going to be that big of an issue anymore. As for why cruisers are not simply equipped with this kind of engine? First of all, the space jump engine occupies a really large area. Secondly, it is the space jump engine, which can only be carried by the biological energy on the cruiser. That's why. Cruiser stage. It can be upgraded to Orange Epic Quality. And the evolution value is enough. But here comes the problem. Suzan is not sure enough to evolve. He still needs to study for a while. The main thing is that in the past year, his progress has been too fast. It's so fast that even the evolutionists can't keep up. But that's okay. Wait until the middle and late stages of the cruiser, that is, the intermediate and advanced cruiser levels. There should be no big problem, the wealth value is now sufficient. And an evolutionary simulation lasts 10 years. Even the Orange Epic Quality is hell-level difficulty. Simulated for hundreds or thousands of years, then rely on systematic teaching and teacher teaching. Suzan can't learn if he doesn't believe it. Probably during the battleship era, it was half the quality that reached Orange Epic. In the deep spaceship era, the overall quality must be 100%. Just right. At present, the overall purple quality is 100% unparalleled, which is absolutely sufficient. The evolution points accumulated now. In the future battleship and deep spaceship era, even if it is 100% overall Orange Epic Quality, there is no need to worry about the evolution value. The space jump engine of the Yuanhang series has been installed, and the brilliance has undergone tremendous changes. A huge engine is at the tail, coupled with several hyperlight propulsion engines and pulse jump engines. A starship capable of traveling far is finally completed. As for the 5 characteristics of the space jump engine, All of them increase the space jump distance by 8%. When the 5 are superimposed, the final space jump distance reaches an astonishing 43,700 light-years. A distance of millions of light-years. Arrived in just one day, traveling at full speed in 1 month, the distance is at least 50 million light-years. The space jump engine eats nanostar clusters, and nanostar clusters are the fuel for the space jump engine. Moreover, nanostar clusters are very durable. Basically, a complete nanostar cluster can basically guarantee a navigation distance of 1 billion light-years. A complete nanostar cluster is worth 100 million cosmic coins. This price is actually very expensive. But compared to the distance and Suzan's wealth today, it's nothing. Time is what Suzan values most. After, it's the evolution of defense and weapons. There are 4 main guns, and they are all so powerful. In terms of firepower, fixation is enough. After all, Suzan doesn't need to suppress firepower like Uchichi and Qin Fuyue. Then this firepower is more than enough. More than enough, at least at this stage. 15 days. It went by in a flash. I want to think about the moment when the cruiser successfully evolves. A satisfied smile appeared on Suzan's face. This is a small goal he set. And this small goal has been achieved. Then set another small goal, let's evolve to the immortal ship first. If the cruiser has truly entered the ranks of the powerful, it is a huge hurdle for every biological captain. So the immortal ship. This is the lifelong pursuit of all biological captains. Immortal ship. Immortal, immortal. Once you reach the immortal ship, you can truly live as long as the sun and the moon. Even if the universe is gone, you can still exist forever. The immortal ship definitely represents more than just the endless life. There is also a terrifying increase in strength. Cruisers are among the strongest. Immortal ship. This is the threshold for becoming a super strong person. Enter the ranks of immortal ships. You can be called a super strong person. Don't ever think that. Immortal ships are many and very common. That's because the powerful people Suzan came into contact with were all too high-end, so it seemed like the immortal ship was nothing. In reality? That's because it's training camp. That's because on the battlefield. These two places are both gathering places for super strong people. Don't say anything else. Let's just talk about the B-283 battlefield. The number of participants in the war from the 3 parties reached a terrifying number of 100 million people. But the total number of immortal ship captains from the 3 parties does not exceed 100,000. Also, the Earth Federation exists to this day. Hundreds of thousands of years. But the strongest ones are still only star destroyers, not even an immortal ship. Forget about the immortal ship. He is the captain of the Star Destroyer. No matter where he goes, he is a terrifying existence that others dare not provoke. The immortal ship is even more so, to put it more simply and give an order. Captain of the immortal ship. It is an existence that can establish a country. Moreover, after the founding of the country, others did not dare to provoke him at will. B. There is still a long way to go to reach the level of immortal ship captain. Now he has just evolved into a cruiser captain. In the middle, you have to go through battleships, deep space ships, star destroyers, and then the immortal ships. A span of 4 major levels. Asking for flowers. Where is such a simple thing? It took Suzan almost 5 years to cross the first 4 major levels. The further you go, the more difficult it becomes. The brilliant number has completely evolved. Suzan looked at him with admiration and pride. It's a starship that I built with my own hands. Extreme length, width and height. Absolutely invincible under the battleship. F. Now, Suzan even dares to fight with the captain of the deep space ship. If coupled with the overlapping capabilities of multidimensional space starships. DOJ, I really can't say who will win in the end and who will lose. Suzan even had great confidence that he could press a deep spaceship into the ground and rub it. Of course, the premise is that the opponent is not a top-level evildoer or a genius above. And even if the opponent is just an ordinary monster and does not meet the standards of an advanced deep space ship, Suzan has such confidence. Star Wars simulations over the years, and training during this period. That's not for nothing. In addition, the cruiser's brilliant. What has changed is not just the volume. Point 0. The appearance has also undergone many changes. It looks more high-end, sci-fi, and ferocious. In general, Suzan extremely satisfied. The cruiser has evolved. But it seems like there isn't much time to get excited about it. Because it's fast. Suzan continued to devote himself to the intense and intensive training. Now, he is treated like a superstar. And he also killed Barbarous Lou, the most outstanding genius of the insect race. His treatment can really be said to be whatever he wants, and he will be given whatever he wants. High-pressure cultivation methods are indeed precious and expensive. But the training camp sent an application directly to the headquarters of the Universal Human Federation, indicating that Suzan wanted to practice. The headquarters of the Universal Human Federation directly waved its hand and batched out a large amount of additional pharmaceutical sprays for Suzan to use alone. It can be said that the care given to Suzan has reached a certain level. Not only that, Suzan's genius treatment has finally arrived. Suzan's application for 2 longitudinal starship captains, plus Muzichio, was rejected directly. The reason is simple. Muzichio continued to be one of Suzan's guardians. The headquarters will still give her the rewards she deserves. In addition, Suzan was assigned 3 additional captains of vertical starships to serve as his guardians. Now, Suzan is one of the 4 guardians. 3 vertical starship captains. A void ship captain. Just this power of protection. Let's put it that way, even if a terrifying being from the starship came to attack and kill Suzan in person, Suzan will also be safe and sound. The possibility that the enemy can send powerful men from the vertical starship to specifically attack and kill Suzan is almost zero. The price is too high. Attacking and killing Suzan is totally not worth it. Although the talent Suzan is showing now is extremely terrifying. B. It is still far from the point where Suzan can be exchanged for a terrifying existence on a vertical starship. But assassination must exist, I just don't know when it will appear. Suzan didn't think too much. Work hard to practice and improve. Training is over. Just go to the battlefield. It's time to fulfill your promise to Haitang. Time is in a hurry. At the beginning of the 3rd month of returning to training camp, Suzan. The girls began to evolve as well. Hu Chi-Chi and the others are really up to date. Now, what has been confirmed is that their talents have reached the level of genius. Although he is just an ordinary genius. But he is a genius after all. As long as you reach the level of Tianjiao, it is also a star field, and it is difficult to produce a super genius. After a long period of practice without sleep or food, cruiser promotions also began. After they are promoted to cruisers at the same time, they will be even more helpful to Suzan. For example, last time I was on the B-283 battlefield. If they hadn't fought tooth and nail to intercept the enemy, it was impossible to give Suzan such a perfect combat environment, and there would be no way to kill so many enemies. Even if it wasn't them, Babalusra might have escaped. Secondly, if it weren't for the white bird, Suzan's artillery shell reserves, it is absolutely impossible to fight to that moment and kill so many enemies. Therefore, Suzan never hesitates to train them 7 or 80. Because their evolution value is far less than that of Suzan. Therefore, their starships are still of high quality. That is to say, the overall purple quality is unparalleled, but it is not 100% that kind. As for the size, no need to ask. It must be the kind with the maximum length, width, and height. Evolving from the top 10th level to the next level multiple times has also given them much more biological energy than ordinary cruiser captains. Under such circumstances, it is completely possible to fight at the maximum length, width, and height for a long time. There is no need to worry too much about insufficient bioenergy. This evolution, because the volume continues to increase. Great changes have also been made in all aspects. For example, Time's boulder. As the size of the boulder increases, its core defense will inevitably increase as well. Both sides are basically covered with layers of core armor. With a total width of 339.9 meters, the core armor areas on both sides reached a terrifying thickness of 150 meters. There is another 39.9 meters of activity space left in the middle, and the rest of the space is just right. And the living room can be much bigger, 150 meters thick. Then you can directly increase the 15-meter thick core armor to 10 layers. What is this concept? The normal core armor thickness of a cruiser is 10 meters thick. And there is only one layer. Because more space is needed to carry various weapons and ammunition storage space. The boulder has no offensive weapons at all. Its 10 layers of 15-meter thick core armor bring its defense power to an unimaginable level. In addition, because the boulder is long enough. Therefore, Suzan also preset a training room, right next to the captain's living room. Secondly, 3 sets of energy shield devices were installed directly. Engage in a 3-cross firefight. The defensive power of the energy shield. All reached an appalling level. And speaking of the training room, Suzan's brilliant account also has one installed. Anyway, there's a lot of space, and it's also next to the captain's living room. Behind the training room, it's the missile launch bay. The missile launch bay used by the Brilliants is equipped with 40 missiles. 10 in a row, 4 rows in total. Huchichi and Chin Fuyue were even more terrifying. For a cruiser with extreme length, width, and height, the benefits of its huge size are undoubtedly revealed. Missiles are small missiles. But even a small missile is equivalent to the length, width, and height of the intercontinental missiles of the Earth in ancient times. Missile. Using penetrating bullet warhead. Yes. The missiles of the Brilliants all have penetrating missile warheads. The greatest use of missiles is ultra-long-distance attacks. Missiles in this era start at twice the speed of light and have an attack range of 1 million kilometers. However, this distance is obviously nothing in terms of the measurement unit of the universe. Missile ammunition is actually nothing. Because it is a consumable item. Consumables cannot evolve. But it's not a big problem. The missile launch bay has evolved to high quality, which can also improve the performance of the missile to the same effect. For example, what Suzan purchased was a Pangolin series missile from the Interstellar Weapons Group. The basic data of this missile are 36 meters long, 3 meters in diameter, use vertical launch. The warhead is matched, and the warhead is a high-speed penetrating projectile that can even penetrate into the core of the moon easily. Has super penetration effect. Why are starships above cruisers basically equipped with missiles? It is because of its huge power that even with the blessing of technology in this era, it is still as powerful as a super killer weapon. Let's put it that way. Such a missile can easily penetrate the energy shield and core armor of a green and sophisticated cruiser. The Pangolin series of penetrating bombs also have a maximum attack range of 7 million kilometers. Because of its height and diameter, there are only 40 missile launch bays on the Brilliants. But in the vertical state, there are actually 3 floors. That is to say, the missile reserves on board the Brilliants amount to a staggering 120 missiles that can be launched in total. Huchichi and the others are even more terrifying. And you must know that this is only the basic data of Pangolin missile. After the quality and performance of the missile launch module have been improved, the missile's maximum attack range has reached 16 million kilometers. Penetration performance, estimates, just estimates. It is enough to easily penetrate a blue rare quality cruiser. It can even be stronger. Missiles are like this. However, the missile is strong, but its disadvantages are also very obvious. For example, missile reserves are small. For example, the missile attack accuracy and the accuracy of locking the enemy are definitely inferior to the main and secondary guns, even as long as the opponent's combat capability is strong enough, and the starship's stealth performance and interception performance are strong enough. In fact, missiles are not that amazing. But the cruiser captain has begun to inject biological energy into the missile. Although it is not possible to increase the power and so on. However, it can use biological energy to control the trajectory of its attack and change it at will. To put it simply, whether the missile can hit accurately or not depends entirely on how you control it. That's the point. Secondly, Suzan had no intention of using missiles as the main means of attack. The main purpose of missiles on the Brilliance is actually to intercept the enemy and leave the enemy behind. For example, if the enemy cannot be defeated, he must run away. Then the missile's ultra-long-range attack advantage becomes apparent. As long as you hit it accurately, you can easily blow up the enemy's engine. Make it impossible for the enemy to escape. This is the biggest role of missiles. This is also the main reason why the Brilliance is equipped with missiles. The two daughters, Hu Chi-Chi and Qin Fuyue. Missiles are used for suppressive fire. What they focus on is power. Accuracy and distance are not particularly important. This evolution. The missile launch bay of their starship, Suzan, directly increased to a full 1820. Yes. 1820 missile launch bays. And the missile reserve has also reached an astonishing 5 times. That is to say, the missiles they launched, not counting supplies, they alone can fire 9,100 missiles. To know, the missiles they used were larger in diameter. It's also more powerful, including by Xiaoyuan's supplies. Be good. In total, the launch volume of 50,000 powerful energy and kinetic energy missiles is enough to give even a star destroyer a headache. Speaking of Bai Xiaonyao, I have to say, her little Yuan, Suzan, can be said to have utilized its starship space to the extreme. Even a small corner can be used as a storage area. The purpose is to store as much ammunition as possible. 5.3 Let's not talk about other data, let's just talk about the ammunition reserve on the Xiaoyuan. The reserve of missiles of various types has reached 40,000, the reserve of main gun shells of various types has reached 1.6 million, the reserves of secondary battery shells of various types have reached 10 million. In addition, the area of maintenance and supply cabins has been expanded, and the number of maintenance and supply drones has increased. And the maintenance reserve is also very large, large enough to repair as many starships in the Brilliant Fleet for 5 rounds. All in all, little kite. Now it has become a real super support ship. Its support capability is enough to increase the overall combat effectiveness of the Brilliant Fleet by at least 3 times. The reinforcement ships are moving further back, which is terrifying. The greater the improvement will be to the overall combat capability and endurance of the fleet. The Coit in the cruiser era. In the true sense, it reflects the true terror of being a top support ship. With the little kite, the improvement in combat effectiveness is only secondary. Mainly, the ability to fight for a long time has been super enhanced. That's the most important thing. As for Meow Meow, there is nothing much to say. Still high burst, high dodge, and high agility. He appears and disappears, killing people invisible. The last B-level battlefield. Meow Xiaomi has made great achievements. With his super speed, Suzan intercepted many starships. At the same time, quite a few starships were intercepted for the girls. Although it is a high explosion, high sensitivity route. But that doesn't mean her firepower isn't strong. Her firepower is extremely ferocious. Because she doesn't have Suzan's ability to kill accurately and with high bursts, she can only attack with high firepower. Her main and secondary guns are all penetrating projectiles. A single salvo can basically blow up an ordinary cruiser. Yes. Female. The quality of starships has been improved. He is once again a genius at the level of an ordinary genius. At the same level, it can be said to be extremely easy to kill an ordinary biological captain instantly. If you can't even do this, he is no longer qualified to stay in the brilliant fleet. The reason why the dazzling fleet, Suzan, is the most conspicuous is because Suzan is the most heavenly. In reality, any one of the girls can be released now. They are all shining stars. For example, any one of the girls, in a force as large as the Earth Federation, is one of the top super geniuses, the kind who can't get enough of their babies. Only in the dazzling fleet, the regiment meeting does not seem to be so eye-catching. Time flies. 11, in the blink of an eye. It was already the end of the final training camp. Suzan. It almost keeps evolving twice a month. Basically, a few days after the starship evolved, it made a breakthrough. Actually, according to Suzan's current breakthrough speed, if it weren't for the starship evolution that took up most of the time, now, I'm afraid they are already battleship captains. But even so, these days come down. The Brilliance has now evolved to a 7th tier cruiser. The girls have also surprisingly evolved to level 5 cruisers. The gap between him and Suzan has always remained at only 2 levels. This is normal. They spend almost all their time practicing. The speed is naturally not much slower. And what about Suzan? Cultivation is just a part of his daily life. Star Wars, individual battles, evolution. Each one occupies his time. Starships are still being designed even today. The reason why we need to design a starship. No other reason. Suzan discovered. Designing a starship actually has hidden benefits. This hidden benefit is that it can help you gain a deeper understanding of starship evolution. Moreover, it is very helpful for you to evolve your starship in a purely evolutionary way. This is very important. In addition, subsequent models of Daystar and Bayduster will continue to be updated. Only through continuous upgrading can we ensure maximum purchasing power. Of course, design must be the smallest part. Besides, a month ago, all the girls also achieved 4.5-star treatment. As for the remaining students, maybe it's because of Suzan's stimulation. This time, there are actually 4 4-star treatment candidates. It can be said that Suzan's training camp is of the highest quality since its establishment. It is precisely because of this, and even more because Suzan killed Barbarous Lu last time. There are also a lot of reasons for the geniuses of Tian Mantang Devil Camp. A big victory was achieved. So, Taiku Galaxy Training Camp, just 2 days ago. Zigii climbed to the position of the first training camp of the Universal Human Federation. This is also the first time since the establishment of the training camp that it has ranked first. Recently, Kai Tai and others had smiles on their faces. For Suzan, it is called a passionate person. Suzan was not used to it all. No. Training camp officially ends today. Not to mention Kai Tai, although he is the battalion commander, he is also Suzan's master. It makes sense that he showed up to see Suzan off in person. But there were 2 deputy battalion commanders at Bianzhan, as well as instructors Ji Liang and Chong Teng. They came to see Suzan off one after another. Yes. Just give it to Suzan. Don't talk about sending other students away, it doesn't exist. Why haven't I seen them deliver it before? It is precisely because of Suzan's existence that I came to send it. It's not just the honor that Suzan won for the training camp. Not only after receiving this honor, the rewards for the next training camp of the Universal Human Federation will be even more generous. What's more, Suzan's current potential is as long as he doesn't die accidentally halfway. In the future, he will definitely start at least as a captain of a vertical starship. Such a super strong person. Is there any reason not to resolve the relationship first? There is no reason. As for the identity between teachers and students, the training camp is over, so naturally this important identity is gone. You're going to the battlefield after that, right? Kaitai looked a little reluctant, patted Suzan on the shoulder, and told his most proud disciple with doting eyes, I went to the battlefield, even if it is a C-level battlefield or a D-level battlefield. You must not be careless in the slightest. Even in D-level battlefields, there are quite a few cruiser and battleship captains who die every year. There were even many deep space ships and even Star Destroyer captains who died there. So, when you go to the battlefield, be cautious as long as you can. You only live once. In addition, if you encounter anything in life, you can come to Master at any time. No matter who dares to provoke you, please do it first. Whatever happens, I'll take care of it for you. Kaitai is absolutely qualified to say this. Don't look at the powerful existence on the starship. But the vertical starship is definitely a superpower in the true sense. Moreover, Kaitai is very powerful and is expected to break through to the next level at any time. He can even guard a B-level battlefield. Within the scope of Jiuxiao Xinghai, there are really not many people who dare to provoke Suzan. Suzan nodded seriously and said, I understand, Master. I will definitely be careful. You only live once, I will definitely pay attention to it. Kaitai nodded with satisfaction, and then said solemnly, on the battlefield, I believe that with your character, as long as you don't encounter snipers and are careful, there shouldn't be any big problems. But what you need to be careful about is sniping in a battlefield environment. I've said it more than once, don't you have 4 guardians? As long as you have a guardian by your side, even if you are assassinated, there will be no danger. After all, the distance is too far. It is very dangerous to be assassinated next to you. After hearing Master Kaitai's words, Suzan could only nod his head and said, Master, I know. Whether you listen or not is another matter. At least for now. Suzan didn't want a super strong person to protect him personally. Because there are really too many secrets in me. As for the girls, I can keep it a secret. In other words, they may know that they must have a lot of secrets, but they always pretend they don't know. But in front of a vertical star powerhouse, Suzan didn't have the slightest confidence that he could hide it from the other party. Not to mention anything else. Just talking about those natural and earthly treasures, can you hide them from them? Yes, it can be said that it was obtained from special channels. But what about after a long time? Once you keep coming up with new treasures of heaven and earth for a long time, and you haven't had any contact with outsiders. Any fool knows there must be something wrong, right? Although the Universal Human Federation is enlightened and allows geniuses to have their own secrets. But Suzan didn't dare to risk his life and fortune on this. Secrets are hidden. If the protection is not enough, there will be crazy people who want to kill people and seize the treasure. Suzan had no place to cry. After telling Suzan a few words, Kaitai will not say more. At this time, Ji Liang also came forward and said nothing. He just patted Suzan's shoulder heavily and nodded with satisfaction. Then came Chongteng, who came up directly and gave Suzan a hug. The face that had always kept a straight face, as if someone owed him a few nanometer clusters, managed to squeeze out a smile at this time. He smiled at Suzan and said, "Keep up the good work," and said nothing more. At last. I just said goodbye to those students who were familiar with me one by one. These people will all be Suzan's connections in the future. Yes, I will indeed become a super strong person in the future. However, you will never be stupid enough to push your connections outside. Connections. It is always necessary. The most interesting thing is this guy Lu Tianming. This year. Maybe he was hit by Suzan. Throughout the year, he became much more taciturn. But maybe that's why. This year, he has made rapid progress. He is one of the few geniuses who has received 4-star treatment. At this time, he finally returned to his true nature, hugging Suzan's shoulders and chatting happily. This is the difference. Suzan. With the girls. Farewell to everyone. Brilliant fleet. Once again embarked on the journey forward. This time, they will bring glory and strength. Return to the Yaohua Star Territory, return to the Earth Federation, return to the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Then, head to the battlefield. To really experience it. That magnificent. That vastness. Bloody. Cruel. War of Clans. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.